There was a time when resources seemed...
Hi everyone, this is audap. Let's continue our game of Deliver Us the Moon on DirectX 12 with RTX on PC. Okay, another shitty puzzle to work out. So... I need this room. I need to be able to get into that room. So there was a patch recently to sort of lessen the complexity of some of the RTX objects. You know, basically turn off what surfaces were calculated for RTX, so that the game would perform a little better. You know, we'll see if it makes any difference in this part of the game, because it does sort of chunk around a little bit. Okay, so I gotta open this. That opens that door. The problem is, I can't power the door, and there's electrical fields in the way. So we gotta open this door, I guess. Can I get through here? No? It's a red one. Does that mean it's bad? Okay, so there's no power if I use that one. Do I need anything in there? Excuse me. Okay, I don't know what good that thing does. Oh wait, yeah. I can power the other door. That's right. Come on, give it to me. Does it not know it's there? Oh, I might have to reload the game. Yeah, I can't pick it up anymore. Okay, good times. Nice bug. Of course I find it. Okay, if I sit them next to each other, is it gonna freak out? No. Anything here? No? Okay. Oh, jeez. Come on. I don't even know why jumping is a feature in this game. It's not good. It's super floaty, and the hit detection's, you know, iffy most of the time. Oh, of course, it has to go here. I'm gonna get that helium anywhere if I dump on my train, but okay. I'm just wrecking this place. For science. Pearson Space Station. Hi, Joan. Thanks for the custom paint job. Oh, yeah, I already read that one. Highly skilled job here. Like Gordon Freeman. Is this where I'm going to visit Zen? That would be funny if it just turned into Half-Life. They just give you crowbars all whacking head crabs everywhere. For someone who's about to die, you don't run very fast. Now the stuff is moving. Well, that's better.
NPT overload. System integrity at 90%.
Oh, now I'm playing inside. Come on, get your ass moving. What are you doing? Come on, your life's in danger. Run. Ooh, what's this? Nothing.
NPT overload. System integrity at 80%.
I'm playing Dead Space. Come on, run! What the hell are you doing? Man, what is it with this Twitch-style gameplay all of a sudden? So weird. It really doesn't belong in this game. Okay, there are handrails there. Can I sit on the handrails, possibly? Can I grab that? No? But now what's it want me to do? Oh, now I'm platforming and playing Mario. Now what do I do? Oh, now we're playing Mega Man? Oh, it's like they stuffed every game that they've ever played into this part in this section. Nope, not that way.
NPT overloading. System integrity at 60%.
Oh, that looks safe and grounded. I'm sure I won't get completely shocked if I use this thing.
Release Increasing reserves. NPT overloading.
It's like my Tinder date.
Overloading. NPT overloading. NPT overloading.
That's what you get for following instructions. I see a broken rib.
NPT overloading. System integrity at 50%. Alarm NPT to resume transmission and relieve pressure.
Need to leave pressure with my bones against my organs is what I need.
NPT overloading. System integrity at 40%. NPT overloading. System integrity at 30%.
Come on, get over there. Oh, it's... Okay, great, you have to fight it. Feeling woozy.
NPT overloading. System integrity at 20%.
Come on, you drunk bastard. Yeah, it's drifting on its own, so you're having to counter drift it, but without being able to look at the screen. Come on, get over there.
NPT overloading. System integrity at 0.
Did I not make it? Boy, that's not... I don't know. It's not like some fun mechanic.
NPT overloading. System integrity at 50%. Alarm NPT to resume transmission and relieve pressure.
No, the last half of this game is a real mess. I mean, it's not particularly fun, and the puzzles are, you know, kind of oblique.
40%.
The look and the concept are cool, but man, I just have not enjoyed the last 2 hours of this game at all. And it's only like 5 hours of the game, so it's a large percentage of the game.
NPT overloading. System integrity at
Or maybe, you know, I think I'll probably take a little bit longer to play my games, but yeah, you know, maybe at 10 hours at the most if you're collecting every single thing. See, like I'm pushing well ahead of where it's trying to drift me, and I'm just like holding it down, and it's just like, come on.
system integrity at 20%. right to resume transmission.
Oh, I was about to say, do I have to do a thing? There we go. I was like, what am I doing?
Transmission resumed. Connection with Earth established.
And then kabloom, it blows up. I was like, oh, I gave you too much power. Well, at least I don't have to pay taxes then. Okay, so what is that going to do exactly for Earth now that there's power?
One, is this? I can't believe this. We're receiving energy.
Yeah, I've only got one can though.
MPT is transmitting. All systems are running. Global reception levels are rising. You started.
Anything over there? Got to collect something? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Well, at least she gets to live. I'm not doing so well. Only room for one. Just gonna sit my flat ass down. All right, we've reached the end. Finally, boy. I tell you, I think this game really started off strong. I think the concepts are strong, and the engines. Obviously, it doesn't run. Things don't run perfectly. It's sort of chunky here and there, and it's not very well optimized. But the visuals are really nice, and I'd say the sound design and the music, I think, are good. Pretty good. I think the gameplay is a little bit lacking. There are definitely portions of the game which I don't really like. I said the last 2 hours I just did not have any fun at all. Whereas the first 3 or 4 hours, I mean, those were really solid. I think it sort of felt like they were running out of ideas and they were trying to maybe incorporate something else in the latter part of the game, but it wasn't working for me. As I said, even the puzzles in the last 2 hours of the game were just not great. They just leave you with a bad impression, unfortunately, even though the first couple hours were really good. So I'd say good luck to the development team on making their next title. Hopefully this is something that's successful for them, and hopefully the draw of RTX kind of gets some additional sales. I know it's not necessarily easy to go back in and rework your game, but I would still suggest it to people to check out. But just bear in mind that you're going to be fighting the game a little bit, and for me, I'm not real good at these. You have to find this item and put it in this place kind of game. I just never have followed that logic that's in the design of these kind of games. But that doesn't mean I regret playing it. It's just I just wish things were a little smoother on the last part. It is interesting to see the RTX at work. I said the lighting and effects, and potentially using DLSS if you want to try to cram in more effects if your frame rate's really low. That is something that is a pretty big deal, I think. Because then you can have your full epic effects turned on, and then just render a lower resolution, and then the RTX will scale into your target resolution. I mean, that's been going on for a number of years now. This is not the first implementation of it, but the results are actually pretty pleasant to look. Except for I think distant objects, they look a little funny. There's a bit of shimmer here and there, and there's some errors in the upscaling that happen every once in a while. But overall, I think it's a pretty good sacrifice if your system isn't quite up to snuff on running the game. Of course, you have to have a PC at this point in time to enjoy the benefits, unless the next generation of consoles do some backwards compatibility with their titles. I guess we'll have to see, but I'd have some post-credit sequence, of course. Is it Isaac? Is Isaac still alive? That wouldn't be surprising.
Vestia 3 to ground control. We found them.
They are the last food on Earth. you know, I guess they had to have some slightly uplifting ending. It's so weird to me that you know, Western culture, it really, really loves the idea of a happy ending where everyone lives and there's some resolution where, you know, there's no conflicting resolution. Whereas if you get a lot of Eastern stories, you know, like East Europe and Asia, you know, it's okay to have an ending that's kind of a bummer. But when you're getting into, you know, England and Britain and the United States, it's like it has to have like a buttoned up happy ending. I would have been fine with the game ending where it was without the post ending sequence. But I know, you know, for some people it's too much of a bummer to play a game and be you know, be committed and be invested in a character that you're playing, and then just have it so that they just don't live. I know that I know it bothers a lot of people. So I imagine that's who that's for. I don't know if that was the original draft, if like the game had that ending always, or if they just added it on later when they found out that audiences were just not happy with the main character dying, but saving the Earth. I don't know what that would have done. Like, there's no timeline for when Claire shows up, so you could be long dead anyway, right? But you know, it is insinuated that, of course, everybody lives. So, you know, if it was too depressing, there you go. You have at least some glimmer of hope that maybe things didn't, you know, weren't a total downer at the end. Yeah, I don't, because of the game's issues, I don't know if I would play this again. You know, there are a lot of games through which I actually like playing over. In fact, I play them over for the channel. But, I don't know, this one is not something that I don't think I want to experience this again with its weird issues and at the very last part of the game. But certainly a one-time experience. It's good overall. You just have to forget about the last parts that I was annoyed at and realize that most of the game I was actually okay with. I think it's I think I'd like to see more games that, you know, have that moon setting. I know there was that horror game which we never finished, Moons of Madness, and I do want to go back to that at some point in time eventually, because that's a pretty intriguing game as well. But you know, it doesn't look as good as this game, strangely enough. Although I think this is a much lower budget game than the other game, but we'll see. I'm always interested in revisiting titles that have RTX turned on. I mean, I'm also revisiting Control, which I think is a terrible game. But I'm really curious to see how the visuals sort of change the look of it, even though it doesn't change the gameplay. So, and you know, the RTX and DLSS obviously don't fix gameplay. So if you don't like a game, then you won't like it if it has, you know, more quote-unquote correct lighting. You know, real-time reflections instead of, you know, software-defined reflections. I don't think that's going to make any game better, but if you already enjoy a game and there are effects that bother you visually, then I can see RTX being something that would drive you to play a game again. We never finished it the first time, so it was interesting to finish this last time, or this time around. I kind of wish. I guess I didn't realize that it would be not as fun in the last part of the game, so I actually bailed out right when it stopped getting fun the first time we played. But as I said, I know I'm being critical, but overall I would say it's worth a purchase. It's certainly worth a playthrough. It's worth experiencing it. And you know, lately there hasn't been a lot of games where I could say that. You know, there's been a lot of high quality games, but nothing I could really say, well, you know, that was a really good experience and story, and I was suggested to other people. I think that number is very, very small, especially with the number of games that are coming out there. It's like a lot of this stuff sort of blends together. You know, especially if you're talking about like a 2D Souls-like. You know, there's like a million of those now. You know, a 2D Metroid style game. You know, a 3D. You know, walking sim. I mean, there's so many of these games, and it's hard to stand out unless you're doing something extraordinary. And while this game is not extraordinary, it is certainly not a bad game. I think we've gone through a number of games on this channel that were not good. I try not to pick bad games. I mean, I don't want to buy bad games, but sometimes you just don't know. And I'm not the kind of person that goes and digs deep into the development, and looks at developer notes, and follows Twitter accounts. Just if I'm interested in the game, a lot of times you ruin the game experience if you do that anyway. And I like to kind of come into games fresh. Just things that look like they might interest me, or they're in the genre that are interesting to me. That's what you'll see here. And for the most part, I try not to talk over a good portion of the game. I know a lot of people like a lot of talking in their games and in their Let's Plays, and I'm not one of those people. Like I don't like watching other Let's Players that talk a lot, even though those are the most popular folks. I just personally don't like it, and so that's what I try to bring here as well. And for the most part, what I would like to do is just to show you the thought process behind the game to see if you like the game. So, as we're playing, I'll try to let you know what I'm thinking, and maybe if you see that I'm struggling, or my train of thought would be something that you would also have a problem with, or you would be able to overcome, then that might determine whether or not you think the game would be worth playing for yourself. Really, that's what commentary is about to me, is not so much somebody cracking jokes all the time, but I just want to kind of get in the headspace of somebody that's playing the game. And then if they're having all pleasant thoughts, then to me that would justify buying the game for myself and playing it for myself. But you heard me. I mean, I was cursing this game at the end. Let's say if I had any suggestion for the development team's next game, is that there would not be any action sequences at all. I think it's okay to make a pure casual walking sim. Those games, and I know walking sim's not a term that's always positive, but that genre provides you with a lot of really good story, and you walk away fulfilled if it's a very good walking sim, even if it doesn't have traditional gameplay. And I think designers they get themselves into thinking that their games need to have regular gameplay for gamers to want to like them and buy them, and I don't think that's true. I think if you're into a walking sim and you're into just an interactive story, then you don't care about the regular gameplay from a hardcore game. In fact, those are the things that probably turn you off about hardcore games is the timed platforming and a lot of quick time events. Those sort of things are not things that people that like visual novels or like walking sims want to experience. That'd be what I would do the next time if I was going to develop another walking sim or visual novel. I would just not worry about the gameplay, because that's not the important part. It's not what you go into a game in this style and genre to. Yeah, I think I probably would have had a better time if we had just excised those and made more exploratory sort of gameplay. Because the game looks gorgeous. I mean, the art's really strong. I mean, it would have been nice to go around some interesting environments instead of having to worry about, if I can jump onto a platform in time, or if my feet slip on, a bounding box. Those are the things that I enjoy about this style of game. Devil May Cry, sure, but not this kind of game. And I'm glad that the development team managed to finish the game and get so many people involved, have a successful Kickstarter and find a publisher. I think that's it's very difficult to do. I think people don't understand how hard it is to make a game. If you make it with 2 or 3 people, it's incredibly difficult. And then once you finish it, it's also incredibly difficult to get people hyped on it and to find a publisher for it. Of course, you can self-publish on certain platforms, but self-published games are nowhere near as successful, even with relative good word of mouth. So, I'd say I'm interested to see what these folks do next. You know, I'm curious. Most likely I'll buy it, whatever it is, and if it's more sci-fi, I welcome it. We haven't seen a whole lot of sci-fi recently, and I definitely miss the genre. I miss seeing it so often. You know, a lot of times we're in this fantasy kick in these last couple of years. Oh, 2 production babies, huh? Oh, okay. Can't stop people from screwing. Alright, so once again, this is audapostrophe, and you have been watching Deliver Us the Moon with DirectX 12 and RTX features enabled. I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream.